Okay, my name is Saad Omar. You're also very lucky that I will not be singing tonight. But I've had the pleasure of knowing Dawood for the past 11 years, and I've been writing songs, and sometimes I'm thinking about, we were flying, we had a show at Princeton University last night, and we were flying across the country for this show. And I was thinking about, of all the musicians I've had the pleasure of touring with, most musicians, you see them on stage and you love their music, and then you meet them after stage and they kind of brush you off or whatever. What's incredible about Dawood, and what I've really come to appreciate, I've never said this before, but I really mean this, is that if you love his music and you think he's a great person on stage, he's an even better person off stage. And that's something that's really rare. You meet a lot of like Muslim singers or whatever, they sing their first Palestine song and they do a worldwide tour, and then they sing songs like, put your right hand in, put your right hand out, put your right hand in, and wash it all about. And that's how you make wudu, And those type of songs, they're okay until you learn how to make wudu. But we have such a scarcity of real poets and artists. And to see one of Dawood's caliber, I've been listening to his music since 1995. I just want to make him feel old for a second. But to see how humble and down-to-earth he is really incredible. I'm going to say a few more words about him after intermission, but I don't want to make you wait any longer, so without further ado, the very talented, and who I consider the best songwriter our community has produced, Mr. Dawud Wharnsby.
Thank you, Saad. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome. Greetings of peace, and thanks for being here tonight, everybody. It's my first time in Portland, and as soon as we got off the plane, we were like, we love this city. It's really got a vibe. We've heard a lot about Oregon before, but man, what a really nice place you've got to live. You should be very happy that you're here. And I'm happy I'm here, and I'm happy you're here, because you could be anywhere else tonight on a Saturday night, and you chose to be here, and that really means a lot to me, so thank you. And I'll start off with a fable-esque little song. Anybody know what a fable is? Any of the younger folks in the audience know what a fable is? This is going to be somewhat of an interactive evening as well, too, so please don't sit on your hands. I know there's a lot of young people in the audience as well, a lot of young students from the school here locally, so I'm going to be getting you to help me out a lot during tonight. So I need to ask you, what is a fable? What was that? Sort of a fairy tale, yeah. It's usually a story about something that isn't real, but it might be true. It means that it's got a bit of a moral or a lesson in it. And it's a story about a group of people who... we don't read about them in any scriptures, in the Quran or the Bible or anything, but they're a group of people that I still think do exist in the world sometimes. And I call them the people of the boxes. The story goes like this. There were once some people who all saw their lives like empty boxes. They looked around the world, collecting up the things they liked. They filled their lives in boxes with the goodies that they gathered, and they all felt in control, content, and they all felt all right. They climbed inside their boxes. They settled with their trinkets. They neither looked nor learned much more and closed their lids up tight. Once they fastened up their boxes, they smiled there inside, and they all thought in their darkness that the world was clear and bright. But the world is not a box. There's no lid, no doors, no cardboard flaps or locks. And everything in nature, from the clouds to the rocks, is a piece of the puzzle of the purpose of mankind. It's a piece of the peace that we'll find. Along came a wandering wise man, whispering such words of truth, who stumbled on these boxes so separate side by side. He knocked upon the first one, saying, "Please come out and feel the day." An answer came from deep within, "You're not of us, please go away." He approached the second box and tapped thrice on the lid, saying, "Peace to you inside, shall I show you a new way?" Someone peeked out from a crack and said, "You may just have a point, but it's so comfy in my box. In my box here I will stay." But the world is not a box. There's no lid, no doors, no cardboard flaps or locks. And everything in nature, from the clouds to the rocks, is a piece of the puzzle of the purpose of mankind. It's a piece of the peace that we'll find. He approached the final box. A hiding face peeked out at him, And much to his surprise, he said, I recognize those eyes. I see you and you see me. Why not come out and be free? Faith and flowers wilt and die if they're hidden from the sky. 'Cause the world is not a box. There's no lid, no doors, no cardboard flaps or locks. And everything in nature from the clouds to the rocks is a piece of the puzzle of the purpose of mankind. It's a piece of the peace that we'll find. Now centuries lie between all the prophets and you and I. Civilizations are born and die each and every day. We see good and bad and happy, sad, and mad mistakes we wish we hadn't made in our attempt to try and live up to their way. But if we hide ourselves away, afraid to grow and learn, we might wake up in the flames of the ignorance that burns, and we'll never be much more than only casualties of war in a struggle we can't win if we have no faith to begin. We've got to tip the lid and let some sunlight in. 'Cause the world is not a box. There's no lid, no doors, no cardboard flaps or locks. And everything in nature from the clouds to the rocks is a piece of the puzzle of the purpose of mankind. It's a piece of the peace that we'll find. 'Cause everything in nature from the clouds to the rocks is a piece of the puzzle of the purpose of mankind. It's a piece of the peace that we'll find. Thank you so much. Thank you. You'll have to bear with me tonight, please, because all the traveling. I've been on tour for the past, well, I've lost count. 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And it's wonderful being on tour. You get to meet a lot of wonderful audiences and a lot of wonderful people, and get to shake hands with a lot of wonderful people and a lot of wonderful children, and you carry a lot of hand sanitizer in your pocket, especially when you got OCD like me. It's like, how you doing? Nice to meet you. How you doing? Nice to meet you. But it still doesn't help. I picked up a virus along the way somewhere. So I'm singing tonight, and to me, it sounds like I'm singing underwater. So I hope for you it doesn't sound that way, but you have to bear with me. I love traveling around, especially in a country like the United States, because every audience is so unique and so different. And I've been visiting a lot of schools as well. And as I mentioned, when I first came in here, I saw a lot of younger people from the local Islamic school, I'm guessing. And one of the reasons why it's so amazing to be in the United States is because, and in Canada as well, there's so many people from so many different parts of the world who come out to the shows. And I can tell just by looking at an audience like all of you that your families have come from a lot of different countries. So I'm guessing some of you must know how to say hello in another language. Anybody know how to say hello in another language? All right, how do you say hello? Yep. Marhaba. What language is that? Arabic, yeah, marhaba. Very good. Give me another one. Yep. Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Very good. Wa alaikum salam. That's also Arabic. But they use that all over the world because it comes from the Quran. Even countries that don't speak Arabic, but they read the Quran, they still use Assalamu alaikum. And we're going to come back to that greeting because that's a really special one. Give me another one. Yep. Konnichiwa. What language is that? Chinese? No, not Chinese. Japanese. Very good. Oh, way at the back. Yep. Aloha. Beautiful. From Hawaii, yeah? How about bonjour? Oh, French, right? Any Dora the Explorer fans here when you were kids? Hola. What language is hola? Spanish, right? And you know, a great story, a friend of mine, he's a drummer. He used to do a lot of work drumming in schools and drumming in retirement residences. He would meet a lot of elderly people who were very sick, and sometimes he would bring his drums in and drum with them. And there was one place he went where there was an elderly man who would just sort of sit in his chair like this. And my friend, Jamaluddin was his name, he would get all the people in the room drumming, but this man, he just didn't want to drum. He didn't want to communicate or talk or anything. And the people who worked there, the nurses, the doctors, they said, don't even waste your time with him because he doesn't communicate. He doesn't know how to communicate anymore. He can't talk. And my friend said, waste my time with this wonderful elderly gentleman? He's probably got a whole mind full of amazing things, but nobody just knows how to get into that mind. So he was determined to find a way. So he would drum, and every time he passed by this elderly gentleman, he would say hello in a different language. He'd go by and he'd say, ni hao. The man would just sit there. What language is ni hao? Chinese, yeah. I hope I'm saying it correctly. And then he'd pass by again and he'd say, hola. Man would just sit there. And finally, he passed by after many times and he said, Salaam alaikum. And the man lifted his head up like that and opened his eyes. And the nurses were so shocked. They said, what did you say to him? He said, I said, Salaam alaikum. And the man kind of nodded like this. And then said eventually he started crying. Turned out the man was from Turkey. And no one in the facility spoke Turkish. Then no one knew how to say Salaam alaikum to this man. And that's all it needed. So you never know when the greeting that you know in another language might be the way that you can connect with another person. And this song here is a very old song. It's a greeting. You told me Salaam alaikum, which means peace be with you. Well, our friends who speak Hebrew, they greet each other with a greeting of peace too. They don't say salam, they say shalom. Everybody say shalom. And this song goes back thousands of years. It's an old Hebrew folk song called shalom. The words are very simple. I want you to try and see if you can sing it with me. It goes like this. Shalom, my friend, shalom, my friend, shalom, shalom. May peace be with you, may peace be with you, shalom, shalom. Shalom, my friend, shalom, my friend, shalom, shalom. May peace be with you, may peace be with you, shalom, shalom. How many of you like to sing? Try and sing it with me. If we all sing together, we won't have to be embarrassed because we'll all sound good and nobody will know where the sound's coming from. Let's try it out. Shalom, my friend, shalom, my friend, shalom, shalom. May peace be with you, may peace be with you, shalom, shalom. Shalom, my friend, shalom, my friend, shalom, shalom. May peace be with you, may peace be with you, shalom, shalom. Beautiful. Now, as you know, the Hebrew language and the Hebrew culture is kind of a sister language and a sister culture to the Arab language and the Arab culture. A lot of similarities in the history and the prophets and the past that we share. So I thought it might be cool to take this old Hebrew melody, shalom my friend, mash it together gently with those Arabic words, assalamu alaikum, that we used to greet each other often. And when you do, it's kind of like bridging those two cultures, bridging those two traditions, bridging those two peoples and communities. It sounds like this. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. I greet you with the greeting of peace and a shake of your hand. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. I greet you with peace of peace to spread throughout the land. As we look toward the time we have left, as we try to do what's right, I will greet you with peace when I see you, my friend. Peace through day till night. Try it with me. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. I greet you with the greeting of peace and a shake of your hand. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. I greet you with peace of peace to spread throughout the land. Good. As we look to our friends and we look to our left, as we look to our dreams turning right, I will greet you with peace when I see you, my friend, and a smile of light will ignite. Here we go. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. I greet you with the greeting of peace and a shake of your hand. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. I greet you with peace of peace to spread throughout the land. Shalom, my friend, shalom, my friend, shalom, shalom. May peace be with you, may peace be with you, shalom, shalom. Shalom, my friend, shalom, my friend, shalom, shalom. May peace be with you, may peace be with you, shalom. Shalom, 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 salam, shalom. Thank you. Lovely. Oh, those of you who sang, thank you so much. You have beautiful singing voices. You know, singing is a wonderful way of bringing people together. When I visit the schools, I love to remind the young people, especially, and always in hopes that they'll go home and remind their parents that, you know, our bodies are a lot like a pop bottle. You know, when you shake a pop bottle up and you pop the lid, what happens? explodes, right? Because there's all that gas inside. Well, we've got all of our experiences, our emotions, happiness, sadness, anger, all of these things packed inside of us. And a lot of times, the adult world wants us to keep those feelings inside, right? If you just show up at work on Monday morning and start singing in your office, what's going to happen? Yeah, weird a lot of people out. Or if you just come to school and you start screaming and yelling at your teacher, what's going to happen? You're going to get in trouble. If you just show up at the grocery store one day and sit down in the middle of the floor and start crying, what might people say to you? Crazy. Yeah, that's right. So we learn to pack our feelings inside, and before you know it, we end up being like a lot of the robots in the world we see that walk around very much, like this all the time. I'm going to work today. Now I'm going to Walmart. Back and forth like this. And then when somebody cuts us off on the highway, what do? Get out of my way, you idiot! We explode. We can't be that way. We have to be people that let our feelings out in the right way. And music has that power to bring us together so that we can let those feelings out in the right way. So those of you who sang, thank you. And this song, like a lot of my music, I don't write specifically for young people or for older people. I grew up in a time back in the 70s when we were on the heels of the folk music movement here in America. And my parents, in those days, there wasn't like kids music and grown-up music. Right? Like now you've got like Babies R Us and Toys R Us and Mattresses R Us and Mercedes R Us. And everything's so compartmentalized. But it seems like life was a lot simpler even 40 years ago. And my parents used to listen to just music, Music was music. The words were what drew you in. And I remember growing up on music by people like Pete Seeger and Johnny Denver and people who just sang about life. And this song here is, to me, kind of one of those songs. It uses that word salam, which means peace, right? But it talks about how we need to bring our communities and our world together. Find some more peace in our communities and in our families and in our schools. And the reason why I love singing this one in the schools is because I like to remind the young people that peace doesn't start with the grown-ups. In fact, put up your hand, my younger friends in the audience here, put up your hand if you ever watch the news with your parents. A lot of you do. How does it make you feel when you watch the news? Makes you feel normal? That's good. Yeah. It's always good to feel normal. Normal people kind of worry me, actually, but normal is good, I guess, for some people. All right, yeah, how do you feel? Just using it, yep. You feel normal, too, when you watch the news? How about grown-ups? Do you feel normal when you watch the news? No. Grown-ups, how do you feel when you watch the news? Depressed. Everybody all at one time. Dude, that's why we live in Portland. Yeah. Because you don't have to be depressed here. Yeah, it is depressing. Because when you look around the world and you see all the problems that are going on in the world, the wars, the fighting, ecological disaster, who's causing all those problems? Is it young people like you that cause all those problems? No. I know. It must be the grannies, right? Those grannies and grandpas are up to no good. No, it's not the moms and dads and grannies and the kids. It's a lot of grown-ups that go to school the way all of us do. We learn how to read and write and count. We learn how to get along. But then when they get out of school, they always remember how to read and write and count, especially count. But when it comes to getting along with other people, they seem to forget that most important thing. So when we're kids, we get in trouble. Somebody says, go to your room. Anybody ever been told, go to your room? Yeah? Husbands, you ever been told, go to your room? Yeah. Well, there's a lot of kings and queens and presidents that I like to phone up and say, hello, Mr. President. Go to your room. So this song's dedicated to them. Salam, neighbor, hi, let's get together, you and I. A new day's just begun. You call the rain, I'll call the sun, and we can sing, and we can splash, we can shine down on the grass. Believe in make-believe long as we can. Hi, neighbor, salam. I think dandelions roar with beauty. I think being free is my duty. We got to take a chance, fly by the seat of our proverbial pants. There's so much we can do out in this world, me and you. There's so much we can improve if you dig my drift, if you catch my groove. Salam, neighbor, hi, let's get together, you and I. A new day's just begun. You call the rain, I'll call the sun, and we can sing, and we can splash, we can shine down on the grass. Believe in make-believe long as we can. Hi, neighbor, salam. There's a lot of growing-ups who should be sent up to their rooms and told they must stay there until they learn they can play fair. And there's a lot of kids like me, and there's a lot of folks like you who know kindness and trust make friends like 1 + 1 make 2. Oh, hi, neighbor, salam. Let's grab a picnic lunch and scram. We can go out near the trees. You bring the bread, I'll bring the cheese. You beat the drum, I'll sing the song, and the forest will sing along. We'll watch parades of birds and clouds and ants pass by. Salam, neighbor, hi. Let's keep that clapping going. Salam, neighbor, hi. Let's get together, you and I. Good. A new day's just begun. You call the rain, I'll call the sun, and we can sing and we can splash. We can shine down on the grass. Believe in make-believe long as we can. Hi, neighbor, salam. Oh, hi, neighbor, salam. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. You know, there we go. No, we don't. It's like trying to tune a banjo underwater. There we go. Yeah, I find that that salam, that peace that we always hear people talking about in the world, comes to me a lot more easily when I'm out in nature, out in the world around me. And I lived in Colorado for a while, for many years actually, and it's not too different from Oregon here. People are smiling there, a little more content, because they tend to be a little closer to nature in Colorado. People tend to like to get outdoors more and do more hiking and kayaking and so forth. So this is a song that it's called Out Seeing the Fields. It's a little bit about trying to get back to nature to find that peace. And there's a line in the song which mentions picking up my shoes and flying out the door. Sometimes we get pushed to the point in our lives where we might break if we don't make a change. And I think there's a lot of people in the world I meet when I'm traveling on airplanes and when I visit different cities, a lot of people who are at that breaking point where they really want to make changes in their lives. And sometimes they're afraid to make those changes. Sometimes they don't know how to make those changes. And I think it's always important for us to be constantly looking for ways to get back to that truer sense of who we are, especially if we feel like we're getting off track. And that's a little bit of what the song's about. Clouds rushing past, flying hopes to never land. Night, stretching out my hand, out seeing the fields. What is a dream? Can you tell me what is real? Everyone else is home in Trees, crystal on the bridge. Trees, frozen diamond leaves. Ice, stiffening the wind. Wind underneath my feet. Out seeing the fields. What is a dream? Can you tell me what is real? Well, everyone else is home in bed, and I'm out here lost in my own head. Out seeing the field. I only feel close to you when I'm under open sky. I only feel guided when I'm free to question why. Only when I smell the earth upon my face will I ever be free to fly from this place. Out seeing the field. Leaving the place I thought was home before. Picking up my shoes and I'm flying out the door. Can't seem to want to go back there anymore. So I'm out seeing the fields. Morning wings against the ledge. Frost streams painted on the glass. Snow covering the streets. Home warm beneath my sheets. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is a tune about, of course, we can't all live in the trees all the time. My wife's grandfather is always saying to me, Daud, why do you want to be such a hermit? I say, well, it's not so much about being a hermit and being out in the wilderness all the time. You know, I think communities are great. We need people, right? That's our species, right? So we need to get along. But I'm a real believer that communities, smaller communities, that cities are kind of unnatural to me. I find that urbanization has taken a lot out of us. And it's hard enough to just get along with those people that are in our own household. I mean, I'm sure many of you have been in those circumstances where you've got someone you love, maybe it's your spouse or your children or your mom or your dad or a partner that you love each other, but you get into those discussions and you start to disagree, right? And they usually happen after dinner and you start to disagree about something and as each of you are kind of making your case, the clock is ticking, and before you know it, it's 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, and you realize that all you're really succeeding in doing is wasting your precious sleep time before you have to be at work or school the next day. And I've had a lot of those sorts of things happen to me in my life too, and those sorts of relationships that are really hard to sort of, how do you make your case with someone you really love who just doesn't seem to get where your head's at? And that's the true essence of conflict resolution. It happens in our own families. You can only imagine how much harder it is for countries and nations to get along. And I have often found in life that what works best is to stop talking so much and defending so much and just start living. You know, integrity comes with our actions and how we behave and how we stand by what we believe, not necessarily how well we're able to pontificate about it. And this song is called Midnight, because to me, midnight is the darkest time of the night when you get into those debates. But it's also, we have to remember, the beginning of a new day, that if we can begin to look at life that way with hopefulness, maybe we can start to see some of the conflict in our worlds fall away. called Midnight. He sat back in his arrogant sort of way. He said, there's nothing more to say, then lectured on for another hour. She said everything was fine. She said she didn't like to whine, then cried on for another hour. They sat there screaming though the room was silent. They sat so still though the scene was violent. And words can never really help you say what you want them to anyway. And words can never really help you see what you really want to be. He took a last sip of cold tea. Last chance to stop all these lies. Last chance to clean up these lives. Oh, this could be the final hour. This could be the final hour. Or this could be the finest hour. And words can never really help you say what you want them to anyway. And words can never really help you see what you really want to be. He took a last sip of cold tea. La 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 la. Allah, Allah, la 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 la. Allah, Allah, la 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 la. Thank you. Thanks. Assad mentioned that partly the reason why I'm traveling around this last couple months is to share this book for families. You know, I've spent the last 20 years doing albums and CDs, and for me, the songs are always stem from the lyrics. I'm one of these people that thinks in words first. In fact, when I was a kid, they used to call me Motor Mouth because I just had too much to say and too much in my head to get out at one time. So I started writing from a really young age, and although I struggle with reading and writing, still to this day, I mean, it's just yesterday I got caught, man. Some guy came up and asked me to write an autograph in his book, and the name was Abdullah. And I started writing the word Abdullah, and as soon as I got to the A, and then he's like, it's A-B-D, and then I stopped, because I was just suddenly confused. And he's like, A-B-D, and I was like, A-B-D, B-D, and I couldn't remember a B and a D, and he's standing there watching me, and I'm like, B, D, B, this is like a bed, like, I was so it happens to the best of us, folks. But I try not to let the spelling mistakes and my inability to read and write interfere with the way I sing, so hopefully you don't hear my spelling mistakes when I sing. So it took me a long time to get this book done, but I wanted to do a book instead of just another CD, because I really feel as if artistic expression and music in our world today has really become something which is just consumed so rapidly, you know? Music's around us everywhere. You just download the songs, kun fayakun, be and it is, and there's your music. And families have lost that ability to really connect to each other through the poetry and through the actual words that they're hearing. So I thought rather than just come out with another CD for little kids and for teachers, let me do it as a book so that families can read the words together, learn the words, escape into the illustrations. My friend Shireen from England did the drawings. And as well, for those people that do like to listen to something in the car on the way to school or work, there is a CD in the back to learn the songs together as a family. Because long after my voice is gone and I've left this earth, hopefully the ideas that they're so important to my family and I will still be able to continue on to your family. And the book is geared for really young children, ages 3 to 6, but like with a lot of the music that I make and a lot of the words that I write, I've always got a soapbox to stand up on. And there's a lot of things in the book which I've felt are important for families to remember and keep in mind. And one of those things is this idea that faith and spirituality is not something which any one community, at least according to what I feel in my heart, is not something that any one community can claim ownership of. That this oneness that brought us all into existence, or that governs this whole universe, whether you call it the Tao, or whether you call it Allah, or Yahweh, or is not something that any of us can claim a trademark to. And this song is called All of Us. It's a little bit about how we need to work together and remember that although we're so unique and different, right down to our fingerprints, we've also got that same heartbeat inside of us that makes us all of equal worth. All of us ride in the same bus, shop at the same malls and stores. All of us debate and discuss, decide and divide what is mine and what's yours. But when it rains on all our houses. We all get cold when it snows. When a storm rolls in, huddled up against our window, we all feel scared when a strong wind blows. 'Cause on this earth we're all of equal worth. You and I, we wonder at the sky, call God a different name as we try, learn and long to fly. You and I are so differently the same. We squint our eyes when the sun shines on the water, swim the way a river flows. And as we all get older, pricked by thorns to smell life's rose, we all feel sad when someone we love goes. 'Cause on this earth we're all of equal worth as we try, learn and long to fly. Well, on this earth we're all of equal worth. How are we doing for time? I know we want to take a little break after a while. We're okay right now, Sod? Maybe 2 more? Okay, cool. Maybe what I'll do is I have to share one of the songs with you that I wrote for this book because it's really a family effort. I wanted to, when I did this recording, I have a lot of teachers and parents that often write me and say, can you write a song about this? Or can you write a song about that? Or write a song about adoption? And I always throw it right back at people and say, why don't you write it? Because a lot of times I find people really underestimate their own ability to write and record, and especially young children. When I started writing songs, especially releasing them in the Muslim community maybe 15, 20 years ago, there wasn't much out there for Muslim children. And I would get letters back from young people saying, oh, here's a song I wrote, and here's an idea that I have. After 20 years, we started to see a lot of music companies come up and, Muslim record companies, very similar to the Christian pop scene in a lot of ways. And now I get letters from young people saying, do you make a lot of money being a Muslim singer? And, all this. So unfortunately, the children have lost that innocence and that strength of character to be able to say, look, I can do this myself. So when I did this album, I really wanted to set an example for parents and teachers and young people to say, you can do it. In fact, the CD that's at the back of the album here, or back of the book, normally CDs, of 10 songs can cost upwards of $50,000. I mean, $100,000, a lot of money, right? Yes, sir? Sorry? Plain words? Exactly. It's plain words. Write them down. That's all it takes. It's something as simple as just knowing how to use the pen. And for an album like this, I did it on my own laptop computer. I used my iMac at home and a microphone. My daughters helped me. My wife helped me. The budget of this CD was $0, and there's 30 songs. So to be able to do something like this for your own community, for your own family, it's about your creativity and your passion. And one of the songs in the book here, actually, when I had my friend Shireen do the drawings, I sent her some pictures of my family, so you could see that she tried to make some of the characters in the book look just like my wife and I. And this is a song I wrote for my daughter. She was kind of confused one day because she saw my beard and she said, Abba, what's in your beard? I said, oh man, did I get some rice stuck in there again, or what's going on? And she said, no, were you eating sugar donuts? I said, sugar donuts, why? What color is my beard? Brown and kind of gray. She said, she can see it from there. Yeah, it's true. My daughter saw my beard. She said, your beard's turning white. Why? I said, because I'm getting old. She said, you're getting old? Who's going to take care of me? I said, don't worry, I got a few years left in me, but I wrote her this song to sort of explain to her why my beard was turning white. It's called My Father's Beard. My father has some whiskers, a beard that's so cuddly, and when he tries to kiss my cheek, it's always scrubbing me. He teases and he tickles my neck and neath my chin. His beard puts me in giggles, then loud long laughs begin. Within his wispy whiskers, I've noticed something new. Sprouting between the brown ones, white hairs are poking through. He says his beard is changing from brown to wintry white, that each new strand of silver is like a bit of light. He says the more he loves me, the more his love will show. For as his love gets stronger, the more white hairs will grow. My father has some whiskers, a beard that's so cuddly, and when he tries to smooch my cheek, it's always scrubbing me. He teases and he tickles my neck and neath my chin. His beard puts me in giggles, then loud long laughs begin. Now, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. But that answer really helped my daughter better understand why my beard was turning white. But then she said to me, yeah, but Abba, what's that thing on your head? I said, oh, my head. My hair. What's she... Whoa, look at that! Wow! Yeah, it's true. I'm going bald. A few years ago, I noticed that my hair going down the sink in the morning with my self-esteem. And, oh, man, do you have to put the camera on that? Is that... Look at that. I've never seen an angle like that before. Well, anyway. So I had to try and explain to my daughter why my hair was falling out, too. I said, well, Beti, the thing of it is, I travel away from home so much, singing, and I'm away from home a good 6 months of the year sporadically, And I said, when I'm away, I miss you and your sister so much, and I think about you, 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 and my brain gets hotter and hotter and hotter until, you know what? My hair falls out. And she was really happy with this explanation, too, though it didn't do much for my self-esteem, until the day was when she wanted to ride on my shoulders. A lot of younger friends of mine, do you remember when your parents used to lift you up and put you up on their shoulders, give you a ride? Yeah. Fun times, huh? Well, my daughter loves it. So I picked her up, I lifted her up on my shoulders, and she was so happy that I was giving her a ride, she wanted to give me a kiss, and the only place she could find to give me a kiss was... Right there. That's right. So that's today. Gentlemen, don't worry. It's not really baldness. What it is, it's not a bald spot. It's a target for kisses. My father has some whiskers, a beard that's so cuddly. And when he tries to smooch my cheek, it's always scrubbing me. He teases and he tickles my neck and 'neath my chin. His beard puts me in giggles, then loud, long laughs begin. Thank you so much. Thank you. So these are the types of songs that are in the book for you and your young families. Songs about bullying. There's songs about motherhood and fatherhood and having little baby brothers and sisters. And all of the songs I've tried to go at them in a way which is not very dogmatic. It's not sort of like instructional or propagational. It's really about trying to just tap into how our children might view the world. I tried to write all the songs through the eyes of my own 3-year-old daughter and my 1-year-old daughter. And I'll finish off right now with an older song. And maybe there's some people in the audience who want to come up and help me out. Anybody want to come up and help me out? I need about 3 volunteers. Yeah? How about this guy here in the striped shirt? You can come down. This young lady in the pink coat, you can come on down. And how about this young girl in the red sweater with the pink headband? You can come down. This is a song. You can come on right up on the stage with me here. Come on up. Get each of you something. You can take that. And it's a song about the rhythm. I talked before about the voice, the human voice. How it's that carrier of the message and traditions. You know, that every culture around the world has a way of passing down stories and history through song and through poetry. And how the voice and singing is a great way to let our feelings and our emotions out. But if you look around the world, you'll see that the second oldest instrument in the world, after the voice, is actually rhythm. And everything in nature around us has rhythm in it. Whether it's the sound of the waves on the beach, or the wind in the trees, or the way that the universe, you know, and the way that the planets spin and the way that the earth rotates, the seasons change. The rhythm's around us everywhere, right into our heartbeat, as I mentioned before. So I'm going to get you to help me out with this song. Have we practiced it before? Have you met me before? Do you know what song we're going to play? Do you still want to do it? That tells me that they've got a really good community behind them that makes them feel safe enough. So give yourselves a round of applause. The song is called The Rhythm of Surrender. And the thing with music is it's not so much about how you play, it's about how well you hear and listen. So I'm going to get the rhythm going on the guitar. I want you to feel that rhythm, and then just join in. Whatever feels right to you. There's no right or wrong way. Whatever feels right to you, you'll pick up that beat. And you can help us out, too, with a little bit of snapping or clapping. It's called The Rhythm of Surrender. Here's the beat. It goes like this. That's it. See? Can you hear the rhythm of all creation, the rhythm of the clapping of the thunder and the rain? Can you see the rhythm of all creation, the lightning and the leaves and the seasons as they change? Watch the children in the field spinning round and round, or watch their lanky, laughing, dizzy, silly falls upon the ground. They grip on to long grass, afraid of spinning with the sun. Reality deceives them with the musing games of fun. Good job. Oh, oh, oh. Can you hear the rhythm of all creation, the rhythm of the clapping of the thunder and the rain? Can you see the rhythm of all creation, the lightning and the leaves and the seasons as they change? Watch the grown-ups all twirling with the clock throughout the day. See them spinning through the hours while the time hands tick away. They try to grip the world as they would catch a falling knife. Reality deceives them with the musing games of life. Oh, 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 can you hear the rhythm of a lost creation, the rhythm of the clapping of the thunder and the rain? Can you see the rhythm of all creation, the lightning and the leaves and the seasons as they change? The rhythm of our world beats in surrender and in time. Our blood and our breathing testify. The rhythm of surrender is a part of who we are. With each heartbeat and involuntary blink of our eye, a part of us we can't deny. You're amazing, good job. And you hear the rhythm of a lost creation, the rhythm of the clapping of the thunder and the rain. Can you see the rhythm of all creation, the lightning and the leaves and the seasons as they change? Can you hear the rhythm of all creation, the storm against the sand and the pulsating waves? Can you see the rhythm of all creation, the rhythm of the children running wind upon the graves? Can you hear the rhythm of all creation? Good job. Weren't they amazing? MashaAllah. Excellent. Thank you so much. We're going to take a little break for about 10, 15 minutes, 10 minutes probably, and we'll come back for a little bit more singing.
All right, well, we're going to get going with the second half. But thank you guys for being a very, you guys are just a very fun crowd. And I think Daud is right. People are just happy in the city. And it's good to see people are happy. Last night, we had a nice show, but it was in Princeton. And people were kind of a little stiffer there. And they used the word esoteric many times in a day. And that was nice. But it's just cool to be around people that use normal language and there's no pretension. Pretension maybe, never mind. Anyways, so we're gonna get going with the second half. One thing I want to say about Daud, though, I didn't say it before. Anybody know the poet Allama Iqbal? Raise your hand. All right, cool. If you're Pakistani and you don't have your hand up, just put it up anyway, so you don't feel weird when I say the next thing. He's the guy who envisioned Pakistan, and he's the greatest poet of India and Pakistan, maybe outside of Ghalib. And he has this great poem where it's called A Letter to the Muslim Ummah. And Iqbal writes in that poem, he says that, and he wrote it in Farsi, but it was translated into English. He says that my role as a poet is that I tear myself apart so I can put a mirror in front of you. That's all I'm doing as a poet. I'm putting a mirror in front of you. You will look in that mirror and you will see yourself for who you truly are. And that's what a true songwriter, my favorite songwriter is Bob Dylan. And if you see his music from the 60s till today, I mean, he's the greatest ever, if anyone. I know one person in the back agrees. He's a big smile. What's your name, sir? Drux, you have great taste in music. Anyways, but that's what a real artist does. You know, a lot of our superficial musicians these days, they kind of just pander to the current, like, style of music, auto-tune or whatever. And sometimes our Nasheed musicians get into that, where they're just, like, writing what will sell. But what's interesting about Daud is he's always been kind of a decade ahead of us. Now think about this. If you look into a mirror, sometimes you'll see an image you like, sometimes you see an image you don't like. But that's part of a poet's job, is to sometimes put that critical image back in your head, and you're forced to look inward. And so more than anyone else, Daud has not only been the mirror to our community, for me, I think he's been the soundtrack to our generation. So once again, let's warmly welcome not only a songwriter, but a real poet, songwriter, and a real artist, Dawud Wharnsby.
Thank you, Saad. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. I really don't ask him to do that every 20 minutes, you know? I was sitting there thinking, every 20 minutes he comes up here and bigs me up. It's pretty, but thanks. I appreciate it. So is my brother going to come up and sing with me or not? Now's your chance. The moment, he left the room. I'm going to do the song for him, and he left the room. He'll come, inshallah, come running. This is my background is from the British Isles. The only other musician in my family was my grandfather, who was a bagpiper. And so I wrote this song. When I wrote this song many years ago, it was kind of from that Celtic background that I have, you know, where the voice and the percussion are really the rudimentary instruments of the tribe. And the song's called Sing Children of the World. There's that cold again. Walking through the crowded streets of a market in Morocco, sitting on a smiling camel in the desert of Arabia, warm shade under blue skies of Tunisia. Freeing kites into the night from a rooftop in Pakistan. Planting rows of beans and maize on a small farm in Uganda. Laying back to count the stars from somewhere in Afghanistan. Oh, sing, children of the world, come together and hear the call. Sing, children of the world, our youth will unite us all. Sing, children of the world, come together and hear the call. Sing, children of the world, the truth will unite us all. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wallahu akbar. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wallahu akbar. La 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 la. Splashing through the pouring rain in a village of Guyana, nibbling cakes from picnic plates on a mountaintop in Switzerland, tending to a flock of sheep down under in Australia, greeting morning with a prayer on the golden Egyptian sand. Oh, sing, children of the world, come together and hear the call. Sing, children of the world, our youth will unite us all. Sing, children of the world, come together and hear the call. Sing, children of the world, the truth will unite us all. Help me out. Subhanallah alhamdulillah. Good. Subhanallah alhamdulillah Allahu akbar. Crying himself to sleep with no hope left for dreaming, begging in the burning sun, holding out her hand, arms held tightly on his ears to muffle his parents screaming, sitting where her house once stood, trying hard to understand. See the children of the world, all the children of the world. Sing for the children of the world and pray for the children of the world. Sing, children of the world, come together and hear the call. Sing, children of the world, our youth will unite us all. Sing, children of the world, come together and hear the call. Sing, children of the world, our youth will unite us all. Subhanallah walhamdulillah Allahu akbar. Subhanallah walhamdulillah Allahu akbar. La 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 la. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so excited, to be able to. We've been using the book throughout the tour for communities like yourselves to purchase it in bulk and then use it as a fundraising tool. And it's something that's just kind of evolved by accident. And so we're really excited your community has done that. And I think they've sold out as well. So thanks for helping to support this project, support your own community, support the kids. And for those of you who did pick up a copy of the book, I mentioned a little earlier about some of the topics in here. And one of the topics that's really important to me in recent years is the idea of trying to live simply. When I was 20 years old, I made the plan in my mind. I said, by the time I'm 30, I want to learn how to grow my own vegetables, farm my own bees, stitch my own clothes, and be able to live simply and just write and be able to really enjoy the experience of living. And a few things kind of took me off track. I hadn't factored in marriage and family and children and all of that. So I got a little 10 years kind of off kilter. But then about 3 years ago, my wife and I said we're kind of ready to get back on that path. And we moved to Pakistan, northern Pakistan. And my wife's family is from Pakistan, and her grandmother started a school there about 25 years ago. And now there's over 1,000 students. And we really wanted to be close to that initiative so that we could really make sure that ideologically the school keeps moving forward in the way that her grandmother envisioned. Her grandmother is now 89 and still goes into the school and cracks the whip to make sure that people are keeping in line. But she needs a little help, and so that's why my wife wanted to go there. And I thought it would be a wonderful opportunity to get back on track of trying to live simply. So I spend most of my time at home with my daughters and doing laundry and planting things and trying to... Well, there's no real formal recycling there, as we have in America. In America, I find there's a lot of recycling, but that just encourages people to buy more, right? So that they figure they can just buy more because they can recycle it. Over there's no garbage collection, very informal recycling. So it's a question of whatever you bring in the house, you got to dispose of somehow. And it's been really fun for my daughters and I to learn how to reuse things and make that a bit of an adventure. And a lot of those sorts of ideas have found their way into this book. Living simply, trying to get close to nature and get back to the world, get back to earth, get our feet back on the ground. And one of the things which my wife noted is that we have a rose tree in our yard. Anybody here got a rose tree in their garden? Anybody got a rose bush? Yeah. Some of the younger people in the audience, have you noticed anything interesting about roses? What do roses do when it rains? Have you ever noticed what a rose flower does when it rains? It closes, exactly. I can't find the song. It's in there, so you can maybe follow along with me on this one. Oh, it's right at the beginning. It's called The Rose. Roses close up when it rains. And my wife pointed out to me that, a lot of people are the same way. Because a lot of people, when they are in a new environment or they meet new people or someone who's different, they get afraid, they close up. Now, if you saw a rose bush in the rain, you might think it was kind of a peculiar-looking little shrub, just a stick in the ground with thorns all over it. It doesn't look very beautiful at all. You might kind of think it was actually very ugly. But we know when the sun comes out and these roses open, how beautiful and how large they are. Out of that little bud, there'll be a giant rose with such a smell and silky petals and beautiful colors, multiple different colors. And I think a lot of us maybe underestimate our own potential inside. We might feel like we're just little sticks and we don't have anything to give. But the fragile part of what is so beautiful within us are those fragile parts of us inside. It is fragile. If you shake it, the petals fall off. Rose needs to be handled very delicately because its beauty is in its fragility. So this song here is a little bit about that. It's called The Rose. I wonder if a thorny twig even knows that one day it will blossom and will grow a lovely rose. I wonder of my own life, what is it I'll be? The twiggy little stick I am, will I become a tree? Roots so deep and strong, my arms up to the sky. Bring cool shade, sweet fruits and flowers to those who pass me by. God gives us choices to grow in better ways. Our best is yet to come as long as we wake to new days. So though today I'm small, there will come an hour. Tomorrow may be my day to blossom, bloom and flower if it's meant to be. And God wills it for me. I will beautify this world like a rose bush or fruit tree. I wonder if a thorny twig even knows that one day it will blossom and will grow a lovely rose. I wonder of my own life, what is it I'll be? The twiggy little stick I am, will I become a tree? Roots so deep and strong, my arms up to the sky. Bring cool shade, sweet fruits and flowers to those who pass me by. God gives us choices to grow in better ways. Our best is yet to come as long as we wake to new days. So though today I'm small, there will come an hour. Tomorrow may be my day to blossom, bloom, and flower if it's meant to be. And God wills it for me. I will beautify this world like a rose bush or fruit tree. Just be patient with me, we'll wait and see. Thank you so much. There's another song in there you can look up, those of you who've got the book on your lap. It's called Dear Mr. Crow. And the reason I wrote this song is because where I live in Pakistan, it's not a very big city. It's actually sort of a valley town. And we have lots of beautiful sounds. You know, when we're at home, all we really hear, we have a lot of goats, a lot of sheep, a lot of, call them bants. Bants would be, anybody speaks Urdu, bants, like buffalo, like water buffaloes. And a lot of birds. And one of the crows, which is very popular in our neighborhood, are crows. Now, any of my younger friends in the audience, have you heard crows before? What do crows sound like? Yeah. Give me a crow sound. Exactly. They sound kind of like, in fact, they almost sound like they're laughing sarcastically, right? And I've been out on the terrace many times and had my daughter say to me, Abhi, what are they laughing at? And I've thought about that long and hard. For a while, I thought maybe it was my bald spot, but I realized, no, that, you know, where we live, we do hear a lot of sheep and goats and cows and things, but we also hear sounds like this sometimes. What does that sound like? Thunder or, yeah? A bomb, yeah. You see, we live right next door to a military academy. This is a school where they teach soldiers how to fight and how to use guns. And I often think it's a little strange that while I'm out on my terrace practicing my instrument of music, there are other young men who are being taught how to use instruments of war. And, you know, being somebody who follows the Quran and has for many years, I've run into a lot of debate in the Muslim community about instruments. People say, are instruments lawful or are they unlawful? Do they lead us away from Allah? Well, I've got a very simple way of answering the question. I say, you know what? When the scholars of theology and faith and religion around the world can come to a common consensus that instruments of war like guns and bombs and tanks are religiously unlawful, then I'll take their opinions about guitars and instruments a little bit more seriously. This song is called Dear Mr. Crow. Mr. Crow, what makes you laugh way up there in that tree? With your caw, 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 crackled ha, 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 what is it that you see? Dear little child, people caw, caw, I watch so far below, thinking they're more free than a bird like me, flying each place I go. Fences and forts with walls and flags, caw, caw, they're so funny. The foolish big boys who fight with their toys are so sadly silly. Dear little child, I'll tell you now, caw, caw, it's just my view. This world is so vast, but won't ever last till changed by those like you. Child, I'll tell you now, caw, caw, it's just my view. This world is so vast, but won't ever last till changed by those like you. This world is so vast, but won't ever last till changed by those like you. Thank you. I lived in Syria for about a year, my wife and I. Anybody here from Syria? Any families from Syria? Oh. Syria, we lived in Damascus. Beautiful, beautiful city. I was slim and trim until those days, and that's when I started eating too much basbousa. Started getting the little middle-aged pooch there, yeah. But no, it's really been breaking our hearts to see what's been going on in Syria over the past few months. And so my heart goes out to those of you who have family in Syria. And I wrote this song in Syria, actually, because I was sick of seeing Bashar al-Assad's face all over the billboards everywhere we went. And it started making me think a lot about how throughout the world we have our mantras of spirituality, right, that we love to proclaim, our testimonies of faith, which are wonderful. They bring us together as a community. But sometimes I feel as if we really miss the point of what they really mean. A phrase, for example, like La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, to me is very symbolic. It represents that idea that we all come from that same source of life, Allah. So right there we have equality. And Muhammadur Rasulullah, that idea that we should be following the wisdom and the traditions of the prophets and the people who came before us to guide us to ways of truth and honor and integrity. So in that should come humility, right? So somewhere, that idea of equality and humility is maybe what will lead us to a better understanding of ourselves as a civilization and of our Creator, perhaps, who brought us all here. And so I wrote this song called The War. It's not about the war in Iraq or the war in Afghanistan or even the wars that we're seeing on the streets of Syria now. It's about the war that we face every day in our lives to try and be people of integrity and remind ourselves of that equality that we should be striving for and that humility that we should be striving for, which all of the prophets in the past have urged us to strive for. And that's why the chorus is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Turn our faces to our Mecca of the market before dawn. Our prophet speaks to us, counted once the sun is gone. What do we hope to gain? Work our hands and spirits raw. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Teachers and pop icons, empty drums beat loudest noise. We swap their quotes and CDs like children trading toys. Follow along, bite the barbed hook deep in our jaw. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Pictures of politicians preen across our TV screens. Pretentious plaques and posters stain our minds and magazines. Promises a burning match, igniting dreams of straw. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. I glance reflections of my face every place I go. In my mirror and in shop windows like the lead in my own show. Do I dare look closely, see each wrinkle, scar and flaw? La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice. I'll finish off with a couple more. It's been so good to be with you here tonight, and thank you for sharing these songs with me. And thanks as well. Thanks to Emily, and I'm sorry I didn't get to our cameraman's name, but thanks to Emily for helping out with the sound. Big round of applause for our tech crew. This is one of the last songs in the book. I'll do 3 more. This one here is one of the last ones in the book, which I wrote, as I mentioned, a lot of these I wrote for my daughters. And one of the things I think we went into when we are teachers or parents is that we feel it's our duty or our privilege or our honor to impart knowledge onto the younger generation. And I didn't really do too well in school because I would often see my teachers with that attitude. And then when I would see them in the parking lot after school, or I would see the way that I was often sort of felt like, hey, they're just people like me, you know? And I made a vow to myself that when I had my own children, I would try not to sort of teach them from a position of knowledge and wisdom, but try to learn with them, because we're always constantly learning. And this song, Dear God, the last song in the book, was from... He has to do that. He's a teacher, and he also gets paid to be... No, I'm just kidding. I give him a percentage, and I say, clap it this time. But no. This song came about because I wanted to be able to help my daughter, who was asking questions, better understand this concept of God. And I realized that that's impossible for me to do, because I'm just a human being and I don't even know what's going on behind me right now. So how can I arrogantly feel as if I have this conviction that I can teach my child this thing about something which is unseen and can't be quantified or qualified? And it developed into this song called Dear God, where we find a lot of parents and teachers and rabbis and priests and imams claiming that they can teach us who God is. And we often feel as if maybe they know because they're a few steps higher than us on the minbar or the pulpit. But really, children can see through that. And the next question when someone wants to tell you about God is, okay, well then, if you know so much about God, where is God? What is God? And no one has those answers, really. And I thought the best way is for the individual to learn that that's maybe what it means to be a human being, is that we've got that responsibility, each one of us, to try and find how we connect with each other and with this Creator that is unseen. And one of the best ways is to look to the world around us and see the nature and the beautiful creation that this Creator has made. One way is to look to our own history, to the scriptures, to others that may be able to guide us in the right direction. But really, a lot of it comes back to our own heart and our own thankfulness and gratefulness. And to me, that's kind of what this song is about. And I'll share it with you, called Dear God. Dear God, I've heard your name from teachers, family, and friends. You made the universe, and so we'll live on when it ends. But everyone I know admits they've never seen your face. They're not sure where you live and have no map to the place. I thought perhaps a letter or a postcard could be mailed. Since I didn't have your address, that idea kind of failed. My mom told me that I could talk to you if I just prayed. So God, well, here I am, though I'm not sure just what to say. She said I'd never see you, but she said you're always there. You're never fast asleep, and somehow you're always aware. She said that you'd remember me if I remember you. Said you'd always help me if I ever asked you to. I am just one child you made out of millions, I would guess. I try my best, but sometimes even that turns out a mess. So I'd like you to help me with the stuff that I find tough, like feeling sad and lonely, or like I'm not good enough. I'd gladly pay the debt, somehow give something back to you. But since you're Lord of everything, there's not much I could do. The only thing that comes to mind to make this all seem fair is to thank you and remember that you are always there. Dear God, I heard your name from teachers, family, and friends. You made the universe, and so will live on when it ends. The only thing that comes to mind to make this all seem fair is to thank you and remember that you are always there. Thank you. Thank you so much. I look forward to speaking with you after and hanging out a little bit. This song maybe doesn't apply so much for Portland, Oregon, but definitely applies for a lot of big cities. I was in England recently, about a year or so ago, visiting my sister-in-law. She lives just in Cambridge. So we were in London together, and one of the biggest cities in the world, London, England. We were there in the train station, the tube station, the underground station, at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday night. So if you can imagine, one of the biggest cities in the world, one of the busiest train stations in the world, at one of the busiest times of the day, there were tens of thousands of people around us, everywhere. And I noticed that no one was smiling. And so we tried a bit of experiment. I said to my sister-in-law, I said, okay, let's synchronize our watches for the next 30 minutes. Let's count how many people we see smiling. Anybody want to guess how many people we saw smiling? Yeah. 1, a little bit more than that. 2, a little bit more than that. There was 4 people. Out of all those tens of thousands of people, only 4 people smiling. I thought, man, what happened to all the smiles in the world? So this song came about from that. It's called Piles of Smiles. Somewhere there is a room where there is no gray or gloom. I think it's in Portland. The place is full of light, with teeth all gleaming white, and there are piles of smiles on the ground. Someone misplaced the key, causing global tragedy. Somehow the door, it seems, pinched closed on people's dreams and hid piles of smiles yet to be found. Someday we'll realize, perhaps much to our surprise, the keys to free a smile have been with us all the while. Look for good and spread that good around. All the smiles we set free will get stuck on you and me. The gifts of charity to share so easily. Oh, all the piles of smiles will abound. Somewhere there is a room where there is no gray or gloom. The place is full of light, with teeth all gleaming white, and there are piles of smiles on the ground. Someone misplaced the key, causing global tragedy. Somehow the door, it seems, pinched closed on people's dreams and hid piles of smiles yet to be found. Someday we'll realize, perhaps much to our surprise, the keys to free a smile have been with us all the while. Look for good and spread that good around. Oh, all the smiles we set free will get stuck on you and me. Be gifts of charity to share so easily. Oh, all the piles of smiles will astound. Someday we'll see a place where upon each person's face there'll be a smile sign that everybody's fine, and there'll be piles of smiles on the ground. There will be piles of smiles all around. Yes, there'll be piles of smiles all around. Oh, all the piles of smiles will astound. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I'll finish off with one song that I didn't write. Only one more. Oh, so sorry, I know. But you know how it is, especially in the Arab culture in the subcontinent, when the poet shows up, everybody says, oh, the poet's here. And then after like 4 hours, everybody's like, will he not shut up? So I don't want to keep you too late. I want to give you a chance to go home and be with your families and maybe talk about the songs a little bit, or sing in the car on the way home, or yeah, just reflect upon the night. It's no fun when we go to a concert and we leave kind of pumped up and then we just get home and fall asleep. I think it's really nice that we take the energy from an event like this. And that's why I like to keep the house lights up, so that it's not so much as a performance as it is kind of just a time that we can share together. And I'll share this song with you. I didn't write it. It was written by a really popular singer-songwriter here in the States. Named Steve Earle. And he put this out on an album a while ago. Oh, you're a Steve Earle fan too? Oh, I hope I'll do it justice. He put this song out a few years ago. And to me, it's a symbol of sort of that unity of our faith community. So when you have the people of the Jewish tradition, people of the Christian tradition, people of the Quranic tradition, and we're all really, doing the same things, right? And it's sad to see that sometimes we still find that division between us. And if we can bring back some unity, maybe those of us who are the silent majority, we can begin to make those changes. And the song's called Jerusalem. Jerusalem is that city, that symbol of all of our traditions that links us. And it's also sad to see so much unrest in a city like Jerusalem. So thanks to Steve Earle, we have a hopeful anthem like this for those of us who are in this silent majority. And it's called Jerusalem.
Just a fool.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. I look forward to meeting you afterwards. And I guess all I have to say is bonjour, aloha, au revoir, konnichiwa, ni hao, salam alaikum, shalom, and cafe latte. Thank you.